I suppose the other thing there is just coming onto the feeder then is make sure to calibrate it. And ideally it's a machine. So if you go into your coffee machine inside in town or inside in the filling station, they'll calibrate the machine every week.
Okay.
And that's to make sure that the amount of coffee grains that's going into it are equal to the volume of water, so that you're not getting all water or too much coffee. Now, the reason they do it is that you don't want to be giving too much coffee, so we can do the same thing for calves.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be overfeeding powder and you don't want to be underfeeding powder. So try and calibrate the machine at a minimum every time we change a batch.
Okay.
So a lot of fellas this time of the year are probably going in and buying 10 bags just to get them started, and they're going back in the week after or 2 or 10 days time, and it's probably coming off a different batch. It's the same product, but the densities of the powders can change, just like the densities of coffee powder can change.
Okay.
So again, if you're going that 10 bags and bringing new 10 bags, make sure to calibrate the machine.
And so
it'll take about 5 minutes.
Obviously, outside remit as Peter's vet, I wouldn't have any knowledge of in terms of calibrating the machines. How do you go about that, Peter, or what way do you advise Peter to go about that?
Factory set, that's all.
Yeah.
Right, I suppose, and this is the big thing is that literally all you're doing is you're just going to all you want is a little weighing scales and a little plastic dish.
Okay.
And you go to the settings, you go to powder settings, you check your whatever feeding rate, whether it's just 12.5 or 13 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You measure it out, you run it, try and run at a minimum of 3-4 runs of powder, then get your average and key that number into each feeder is slightly different, but this one is you're keying the number in.
Okay.
We can do it there if we want to.
There is a weighing scales and a bowl there.
And a bowl, yeah. So literally, and it takes, 5 minutes to do it. And usually do it if you have a 2 bowl, you have one bowl, two bowl. So you do it on both bowls, you do it on both augers. Some people don't do it on one. That means that their auger could be off, so do it on both.
So the advice to Peter then is that he should be recalibrating between different batches of powder.
Different batches of powder. So every time you go for a different batch of powder.
Once I change the pallet.
Once you change a pallet, yeah.
You have plenty of free time now that you're not feeding calves, Peter. Loads of time.
The other thing to watch for is that if you get a power outage or a powder outage, and we see this happen a lot, numbers are small and we don't check the powder often enough. And next thing is you can run out and you get a bit of what you call nutritional scour, and you do a back figure on the powder and you realise we could be running out of powder for a feed or two in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Or in the middle of the day, usually at the middle of the night. So make sure every time you pass the hopper, keep the hopper full.
Okay. Yeah. We did a case now with Peter, another client there a few years ago, installed a feeder system as well, but we ran into issues and it took a bit of head scratching to figure it out, but he gone through a period of expansion where the parlour was expanded as well at the same time, and a new calf pen was put, calf housing with the feeder system. But actually what was happening when the parlour was on a cleaning cycle, the water pressure was dropping, was affecting the mixing rate, and we were getting batches of scour, and we couldn't piece it together.
Yes.
But it was actually the water pressure was the problem. Peter's system there, I might see it afterwards. Yeah. He actually has a water reservoir and a pump, and that's. You were given that advice at the beginning.
Yeah, that was recommended.
Yeah.
I spoke to a few farmers and they said when you're milking or washing the tank or whatever, just to have it operates on 2 bar pressure.
Okay.
And to maintain that, we put in the extra tank and pump.
Yeah, and we might see it afterwards. Nice little tidy system. It's beside the bowls there. It's not taking up a lot of space, and it's all in one unit. So Peter, I suppose, has eliminated that problem, and also the water is on a filter as well,
which is very important as well. And the other thing there is that Peter has a bespoke system put in. Now, some guys may have a water reservoir, an IBC or something sitting above and top.
Okay.
That light, air and light can get into.
Yes.
Again, they can be an issue for water quality if they're remain stagnant over a length of time.
Any stagnant water source is potentially a problem.
Needs to be cleaned out and disinfected and refilled again.
Yeah.